Hello everyone, let's take a look at our 2020 COVID summer back patio and fire pit project. So let's start by taking a look at what it looks like right now, but then go back to what it looked like in the beginning. In the beginning, when this land was started, it was all just flat farmland. Then we added a house, we built the basement up 8 feet, and then we had to put fill around to build everything up and pitch things up towards the home. And then that meant that our back patio was going to have 8 feet of fill underneath whatever it was that we ended up putting there. So we ended up knowing that it would settle, and it did almost a foot over 12 years. We put just a smaller, I think it was a 12 by 16 or 12 by 20 foot patio in the back there, and that was in 2008, and here we are in 2020, and you can see how it's a moderately sized back patio, nothing special. You have the air conditioner that's kind of crowded close, that has to get moved, and then we don't have any walkway other than grass over to our walk door of our garage. So here's the project. We are going to rip that whole patio out. We're going to quarter that with a saw, and I figured out 12 pieces. That whole thing would probably be about 1,200 pounds maybe per piece. So I was able to get under there with the forks of my tractor and take those pieces of concrete out. And then we were going to make the new patio a 16 by 24, and we were going to do stamped concrete. So that meant the next step was going to be to take out the topsoil, get down to clay, so that we're going to come up with a very strong base. So we haul in some gravel, we compact that every 4 to 6 inches or so. Good opportunity to teach the kids how hard it is to work with leveling out gravel and a big heavy compactor like that. Eventually get it all graded up to the way we want. You can kind of see where eventually the plan is to have steps that go down to a landing for a pool. We add in some rebar, we get some forms set up, and then we're almost ready for concrete. Then we're also going to set up a fire pit, and so we do the same thing down a little ways past where our mound system is near our drainage ditch. We're going to set up an area where we're going to have a round, 18-foot round fire pit for burning and having campfires in the summer. So next up is the concrete. First step in concrete, call all your friends. So we had a whole bunch of help, different family members and friends come over. Appreciate all the work that they helped put into it. We're going to do a stamped colored concrete. So what that meant is we were going to add a color into the concrete truck, and then we're going to just get the top worked over and bull floated nice so that there's a good cream on the top, and then while it's still soft, put rubber concrete stamps on top of it and pat it down, and then take those stamps off and then let that concrete harden. And so that's what we did. It was quite a bit of work. It was an unexpectedly warm day. We had over 75 degrees, and it was very windy. And it turns out that anytime you add that coloring to the concrete, we found out that really accelerated how quickly that concrete set up. So we were really hustling towards the end here to try to get this stuff figured out. When you got a big project like this, if you're not a professional, it sure gets nerve-wracking wondering if you're going to end up losing the job or not. But thanks to a lot of hard work by everybody, we were able to get it all figured out. So what we were looking at then was a creamy top, and we put the stamps on there, patted that down, and just let it be. Then I pressure washed it the next day, and basically this is what it looks like. We went with a slate design, a light brown undertone, and then eventually you'll see where we add some darker brown finish and then put a concrete sealer on there. I really like how we added the walkway to the patio. Kind of a chain reaction with these projects too. Like we had to move the air conditioner down, and we had to change some other things around by the house that you don't always think of when you think, hey, we're going to quickly redo the patio. Here's a quick look at the fire pit. And then we had to do the all-important relax at the end of that, because that was a big job done. And so it was time for a fry out that night. So here's a quick look at the fire pit. Basically what we did there is, like I said, 18-foot round fire pit. We used the same stamping pattern as we did up on the patio. And then we lined the bottom of that with fire brick. We just went to a place in Green Bay called Gagno Clay, and we bought some fire brick, and then I used a saw to cut them on an angle so they'll make a pretty good solid circle, and that'll take care of all the heat that's presented with the campfire. And then it was time to look at our steps. So when we thought about what we were going to do here, we were going to have that upper patio was going to be our main area where we're going to step out and walk out onto and have patio furniture out there. But then we've got kids in the house and they have friends, and so we've always had a pool. We've always enjoyed a pool as a family. So you can see the kind of the landing there where it's round, and built that in and framed that just on purpose so that we can put a pool there that'll butt up to it. And this year was the land of, or this summer was the summer of no pools, no trampolines, all that stuff was sold out. So we did not get a pool this summer, but we definitely will in the future. Next project was to work on those steps. We made a special form and bought a stone-like pattern so that we could have a cantilever overhang on the steps that we were planning for that. We ended up making, I think 12 or more different steps, just a couple a day. And then that was kind of fun setting those in place too. We made just regular rectangular blocks, and then we had the top part that was seen was that cantilever finish that matches the slate concrete stamp. And that was neat putting that in. Some of them we had to fight to get in. Those were big, like 600-pound blocks of concrete. But we made, like I said, we made it fun. Lots of hands make small work, and it was kind of neat getting some of those in there and making it a family fun thing with nothing else to do this summer. So then the steps that would go down and connect the two, we needed to make that all tie in, because anybody who knows concrete and construction, you kind of know that the earth will move and we don't want that stuff to separate. So I tried to make that all together where I poured a concrete base and then I laid the prefabricated steps on top of the concrete base that I had prepared. So basically, here's a look at it at the end. Really happy with how it turned out. You can see where you've got your 3 steps going up into the house, and that all blends in nicely with the 16 by 24 patio. Really love how the stamped concrete worked out. And then we made those steps that tie into that lower landing area that'll eventually go to the pool. And this was a big project. It was something that it had a lot of side effects to it, like your landscaping and you can kind of see the outlet against the house there, moving the air conditioner, watching out for pipes, and there's a lot of different things that go into it, but we had the time to do it and we had a lot of help, and I'm just really looking forward to having the pool there and making that a relaxing place to be with the family and having a few campfires in many years to come. So thanks for watching.